Plaintiff Jasmine Glenn says between the ages of 9 and 13, she was sexually abused by her father. And although her younger sister, the defendant, was in the house, Jasmine doesn't believe she experienced the same abuse. Jasmine is suing her sister today for unpaid loans. Defendant Jamaica Glenn Stafford says she and Jasmine did not become close until she was a teenager. But after their mother died, Jasmine became controlling. Jamaica denies owing Jasmine for anything.
Start with you.
Okay, Jamaica is my younger sister. She's the youngest of 6. We did grow up in a household together. In our household, unfortunately, we grew up with an abusive father. He was sexually abusive towards myself, 2 of my sisters, and then physically abusive towards my brothers.
Did you ever go to jail?
No, unfortunately. As far as I know, Jamaica did not experience any of that abuse. We're 6 years apart, and with her being the youngest, I think that maybe her perspective of our childhood is a little bit different from my own. I was abused from the ages of 9 to 13 by my father. During that time, I did try to, get my mom to get him arrested or get some sort of justice
Did she believe
for our
you?
family. She did believe me, and actually it turned out that she was aware of prior abuse before we were abused. So he abused our oldest sister before he began abusing.
She didn't take any action?
No. At that young age, I was really mad at her for not taking any action. But now that I'm older, I realize that my mom was also his victim because she was only, 14 or 15 when their relationship began, and he was in his late 30s. My mom became pregnant with my oldest sister at 16. So in hindsight, I realize now that she was being victimized as well.
Have you been to therapy or counseling?
I did go through therapy. My first go around in counseling, I didn't really get the help that I was looking for. I did become very depressed in 2015 and 2016 and became suicidal. But at that time, I did, go through counseling again and get help with my depression. And thankfully, I'm on the other side of that now.
Good. Now, what coping skills, or how did the counselor teach you to cope? There are thousands of victims like you, perhaps watching today. And what coping techniques did you learn with regard to being haunted by that trauma?
For me personally, being open about what happened in my life and, addressing those feelings head on was really the solution for me. Because I'm sure, as you know, in the Black community, there's a huge stigma around sexual abuse and keeping it a secret. And that is just something that you don't talk about. So for me, it's just being open about it, being open about being in therapy.
As you are today.
Yes.
Good.
And, I've talked to my family about the things that happened to us as children and the emotions that I felt, and just addressing it head on is how I overcame it.
All right. So a lot of people need to know that. And so thanks for sharing that with us. What's your relationship been like with your sister over the years?
So our mom actually passed away in 2008. Our father passed away in 2016. So our siblings, we're all we have. So we've had to forgive each other for a lot of things. But with Jamaica being the youngest, we do our best to be there for her because she was very young when our mom passed. She was still a minor at that time. So we have a great relationship, and we try to be there for each other. It's just that she still has a lot to learn about, managing her finances and things like that.
Defendant Jamaica Glenn Stafford is being sued by her sister, who claims while they were growing up, she was abused by their father.
Let me hear from you.
So Jasmine and I, we grew up in the same household, obviously, but we were 6 years apart, so we did not become closer until maybe older in my teenage years, I would say. After my mom passed, my oldest sister adopted me, and so we wasn't too close until I became about maybe 16, 17. And I feel as if she can be a bit controlling sometimes.
What type of controlling things?
Just trying to tell me how to manage my money, kind of offering what jobs to
Do
work
you owe her
at.
money? Did you have to borrow money from her?
Yes.
Well, I think she needed to tell you how to manage your money.
Well,
That didn't make sense to you?
but I didn't ask. She offered.
She offered to give you
She's
money,
she's
but
a,
you needed it.
Yeah, she's a
Okay.
problem fixer.
You needed it.
Yeah.
You were in a jam and needed money.
Yeah.
Okay, once again, you need to learn how to manage your money. What she was telling you was to help you because it's true. You do need to learn it. What else did she tell you? Let's see if that's true.
Like what cars to buy, where
What's
to
wrong with
live.
your car?
Maybe she feels as if it's too expensive. But
Is it?
No.
Well, then why do you have to get money from her if you got a car that you can afford? Why are you saying now that you needed money?
Because we get in ruts sometimes.
Pardon me?
Sometimes we get in ruts to
We
where
who?
we need.
We who? You get in the rut? Do you get in the rut? People get in a rut
Right.
because they mismanage their money. So you were in a rut because you had a car you couldn't afford, because you couldn't manage your money to be able to afford it. What else did she tell you you shouldn't have done that has now fallen back on her? Because she had to put out money. And see, that's what folks, they get bothered. Oh, you gotta know my business.
Well, to my
No, I don't
defense,
need to know your business at all. And don't come to me about your business at all.
to my
Folks get mad at me. I loan them money or they want money. So what you want it for?
well, to my
Well, I just need to get such and such. Well, don't you make such and such a money? I don't need no lecture. Well, you don't need my money. Come on, what I can say to you. Go ahead. What next has she done so wrong to you?
To my defense, I've never asked for anything to be given to me. It was offered. So I feel as if you're constantly offering me things, then why do I get a call from Judge Mathis? It was never a
She
deadline.
had told us, obviously, you called in, said you want to sue her for your money. All right,
But
that's how you got a
again-
call from our office.
And I understand, but it was never like a deadline. Like it was like, oh, you need to fix this, so let me
Okay.
fix it for you.
No
but
deadline.
don't worry about paying me back right now. Don't worry about
She
it.
said that to you
yeah,
at some
and then
point?
and then I get a call from.
When is the last time she told you don't worry about it?
Never.
Well, she told me to pay her back when I could, and obviously I haven't been able to.
When
get
is
it,
the
so-
last time she told you don't worry about it? That's what you just told me she said to you.
Maybe about a year ago.
Okay, 1 year ago.
Yes.
When did she say she would repay you?
So the agreement actually was that she would start repaying me. I was pregnant at the time, so she was supposed to pay me bi-weekly, 176.
How many times did she do that?
Never.
And when was that again? That's in
That was my maternity leave was starting.
You loaned
in
her the
August
money when?
2018. The first loan was May 14th of 2018.
Okay. So over a year ago, you loaned her the money, and she hasn't given you one dime, even though you had a payment agreement.
Right, not towards these loans, no.
Right, toward the loan. All right. And you told her you would pay at some point, and you haven't. Judgment for the plaintiff, she admits that she agreed to pay you at some point, and she has not. And the other defense is you offered it. Well, offer, accept, there's a contract. That's how you form contracts. One person offers, the other person accepts. She offered you money, you accepted, thereby a contract. Judgment for the plaintiff, have a good day.
I love my sister, so our love between us, I'll always be there for her. I just won't loan her any more money.
And you should stop being a little bit controlling. But it's fine. You're older.
I'm
so
not controlling.
You are.
My younger sister was 14 when she lost her mother. I think she's trying really hard, and we all make mistakes. So hopefully she gets past that and be the success I expect.